Firstly, today I'd like to start by, on behalf of the Jamaica Agriculture Society and our 230,000 farmers, to salute our women and girls. Today has also been recognized as International Day Against Violence Against Women and Girls. And the Jamaica Agriculture Society and the farmers support this trust and salute our women farmers in agriculture and support them as our partners. We reject in a profound way violence against women and our girls. And in fact, the agriculture sector is better because of our women. And I'd like you to pause in commending the women of Jamaica and reject violence in a profound way against our women. In fact, we are led by a woman. Our Prime Minister is a woman, and it underscores the importance of us celebrating their achievement. The Jamaica Agriculture Society, in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, is celebrating today our 11th anniversary of the Eat Jamaican campaign under the theme Grow What We Eat and Eat What We Grow. The sub-theme Agriculture Going for Growth, under the distinguished patronage of His Excellency our Governor General, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen. This concept of Eat Jamaica was a brainchild of mine in 2000. In 2003, when I became president of the Jamaica Agriculture Society, we engaged the board of the JAS, and by November of 2003, we launched this campaign with the support then of our agricultural minister, Roger Clark, of blessed memory, and of course, our then Governor General, Sir Howard Cook, of blessed memory. The aim of the campaign at that time, and still remains, was for Jamaican to accept the framework and the concept of growing what we eat and eating what we grow as an everyday lifestyle that will assist us to decrease what we now refer to as our $1 billion worth of import annually. It also serves the initiatives of establishing food security for our nation, as we seek to aggressively reposition agriculture and rural development as the lifeblood of the Jamaican economy and the pillars on which we as a people and as a country will achieve economic independence. This campaign of growing what we eat and eating what we grow is the most profound campaign since we had independence, as we journey towards political independence over the last 52 years, something that we have achieved. But what still evades us is economic independence. And we believe that the agriculture sector is the pillar on which our 2.7 million Jamaicans, our economy will grow and will move towards economic independence. The highlight of this campaign was to speak to our consumers, to recognize the need and to have greater appreciation for the range and the quality of the Jamaican agricultural produce. When we launched a campaign in 2003, the objective included to establish the fact that Jamaica is an agricultural country and that our richest heritage occurs from the farming communities. To remind those who may have forgotten and to inform those who are too young to know the dimensions of the Jamaican farming sector. And to underscore the importance of the small subsistence farmers to the large farming operation, the economic importance in terms of jobs, income generation, the success story, as well as the struggle for survival. We then recognize the importance to celebrate the glories of the Jamaican cuisine culture. Many examples that are typical today of the many food festivals that are staged by the Jamaica Agricultural Society, the Jamaica 4-H Club, RADA, and just many, many farming organizations across Jamaica. It was the intention to lift the morale of our farmers and their communities, to reawaken their appetite for production, while at the same time attracting new and young farmers to the sector. In all of that process, the JAS itself should be repositioned as a viable and relevant farmers organization, adding value to its membership and by helping to create an atmosphere where wealth can be generated for all through the influencing of policies that will benefit our farmers. Today, I'd like to pause in saying that the objectives then, 11 years ago, are even more relevant today as we seek to reposition the Jamaican economy. And if we are going to be repositioned, it's the agriculture sector that is going to do that. At this time, I would like to pause in thanking the Chinese embassy. Later on in our program, they will hand us a check for approximately 2 million Jamaican dollars, which will go towards the purchasing of 120 water tanks, which we, as a part of their support to the Eat What We Grow campaign, we aim to provide it to farmers to help in their irrigation system, to grow what we eat and eat what we grow, to our schools through the 4-H Club, and ensure that this is a part of dealing with some of our irrigation constraints that we have. I thank you very much on behalf of the farmers of Jamaica. I'd just like to quickly review what I call the values of this campaign. The Governor General will issue a proclamation focusing on the importance of our farmers and how we should support the whole question of family farming, as this year is recognized by the United Nations as the International Year of Family Farming. This is underpinned by the Millennium Development Goal, where we target to cut into half the proportion of chronic undernourishment of the world's population by 2015. Based on the FAO, 63 developing countries have attained this. Jamaica must be in this number by 2015. The FAO estimates that 805 million people in the world still do not have enough food to eat. This is down from 1 billion 3 years ago. Last year, it is estimated that 105 million became food secure. Jamaica needs to join that journey as we seek to empower our farmers and our youth through the 4-H movement to produce more food. About 500 million of the world's 570 million farms are run by family farmers. They are the largest employers. They supply 80% of the world's food supply. Let's look at the statistic in Jamaica based on an agricultural census held in 2007. It shows that there were 228,683 farmers, with 79% of those farmers defined as family farmer producing on less than 2.5 acres of land. I make that point because there is a need to intensify the support for these farmers, because as done globally, close to 80% of the food that we consume in Jamaica is provided by the family farmers. And I want you to pause in really hailing the farmers across the length and breadth of Jamaica for their relentless job in providing food for our Jamaicans. Our domestic crop production in 2003, when the campaign was launched, was 491,000 metric tons. At the end of 2013, this was increased to 614,911 metric tons. This is an increase of 25% over the 11 years. We should salute the farmers of Jamaica. But let us interpret that increase. It simply means that the agriculture sector has grown, on average, domestic crop agriculture by more than 2% per annum. This after being affected by several hurricanes, floods, and drought. In fact, the last disaster was defined as the worst drought experienced by farmers in 100 years, where some 18,000 farmers were affected and cost the sector $1 billion. But the sector grew by over 2%, which is more than the growth rate for the entire economy over the 11 years period. And when the agriculture sector doesn't grow, the economy does not grow. And that underpins the importance of agriculture and our farmers in Jamaica. And we need to speak about it and salute them. The impact of this drought, for example, has resulted in the contraction of domestic agriculture by 21% in the third quarter of 2014. After the agricultural sector has realized growth in the first quarter and the second quarters. The ministry's support and the work of RADA, the JAS, and the farmers are guaranteeing that the sector will return to growth by the end of the fourth quarter and record growth for the entire calendar year 2014 and continue the growth of the Jamaican economy to help Jamaica pass the 7th IMF test. Because critically to the passing of the IMF test is the performance of our 230,000 farmers. And farmers, we must speak about it, Mr. Barnett. We must let Jamaica know that the farmers of Jamaica is playing a critical role in Jamaica's success in passing the IMF test. Because when agriculture contract, then the economy contract. And I'd like to really salute the work of the Ministry of Agriculture, RADA, the 4-H and the JS to that effort. The minister is not here, but we need to pause to commend the Ministry of Agriculture for the tremendous support that they have given the agriculture sector during the period of drought. First, there was an intervention of $40 million by the late Roger Clark. And immediately as the Honorable Derek Kelly came to office, he provided $100 million, $50 million of which was injected in the sector through RADA. And after experiencing high prices in third quarter, we are now seeing where prices are settling down, which means that the sector is growing again, and we are going to register big growth in the fourth quarter. Celebrate the achievement of our farmers on each Jamaican Day. The work of our farmers as we celebrate their performance will mean that for a very long time we will have adequate food for Christmas. Egg production is up. In fact, I don't see Mr. Baker here, but I want to commend the egg farmers. This year, the egg farmers in Jamaica produce 130 million eggs, valuing $6 billion. That is big numbers to the economy. Last year around about this time, we were sweating because we had to import eggs, liquid eggs. This year, the egg farmers have said to us, they are guaranteeing that during the festive season, they will produce some 12 to 15 million eggs to ensure that there's no importation of eggs. So must we salute the pork farmers, the pig industry. The pig industry is also self-sufficient. So those of us who like our pork, whether it is steamed pork or jerk pork, right? And we're not offending anybody. We will have enough pork to make our ham in Jamaica. So all Jamaicans should be enjoying 100% Jamaican ham this Christmas. Commend the pork farmers, ladies and gentlemen. We're also up in our sorrel production, our red peas, through the efforts of the Food for the Poor and the Jamaica Agriculture Society, where in fact, 3 years ago we were importing, listen to this number, 10 million US dollars worth of kidney beans were imported in Jamaica. Over the last 5 years, every single year, we spend, listen to this, translating it from the custom to the retail value, $2.5 billion, yes, representing 88% of our consumption, which is food we can produce in Jamaica. I want to salute the work of the farmers, because as at the end of 2013, red peas production went up by 12% because of the National Red Peas Planting Project that has been done by the ministry and the JS, and we need to commend the farmers for that. And vegetable production is also up. I share these numbers because these are real numbers that can reduce our unemployment. When we engage the planting of our land, then we can generate income. We need to look also on traditional agriculture. Coffee, cocoa, banana, sugar, pimento, fisheries, and forestry. All of these are critical areas that we can realize increased production in a very big way. In terms of our imports when we launched the campaign stood at 486 million US dollars. At the end of 2013, it was 969 million US dollars. But the weighted average growth per annum of our import was moving by 100 million. After the campaign, because of the response by our farmers, that has been reduced to 60 million US dollars. So what am I saying? If we did not have the campaign to grow what we eat and eat what we grow, we could be talking about an import bill of 1.5 billion US dollars. And I think that this campaign has certainly underpinned the important need for import substitution. And I take one crop for example. 3 years ago, we were importing 90%. We're importing 90% of the table potatoes. And I hear more like Mr. Murray. 90% of the table potatoes that we consume in Jamaica was imported. And let's talk some numbers, because if you don't talk the numbers, it don't come home to you. We were importing 20.5 million pounds of table potatoes 3 to 4 years ago. Last year, that number was turned around. where 90% of the table potatoes consumed in Jamaica was produced by Jamaicans. And we reduced that import from 20.5 million pounds to 4.5 million pounds. And in 2 years, we're going to wipe it all out. All of the table potatoes that you eat must be grown in Jamaica, in Manchester. And I grow good potato in St. Andrew too. And I want to commend people like Mr. Alvin Murray, the Christiana Potato Growers Association. So there are values in promoting and eating what we grow in Jamaica. Our imports been influenced by inadequate local production to meet local and export demand. Eat What We Grow campaign is driving that. We want to look at the change in our food consumption pattern. Eating healthier is eating Jamaican. We want to certainly lose less of our crops and livestock due to environmental changes, hurricanes, and flood.